Hey everyone, welcome to another video with Stephen, and today I'll be taking a look at some more oils. So full disclosure, the company here, Al-Sunnah, I believe they're called, or pronounced. They've sent me many samples. They've actually sent me a few more which I haven't really worn that much, or like can't really compare them to anything, and I didn't want to talk too much about, 15 fragrances. So here's a quick look at some of the ones they've sent me. So like I said, full disclosure, they've sent me these for free to kind of review, so here are my thoughts. So this one here is Oud Isfahan by Christian Dior, or copy of. So this one's actually really good. For the first time I tried it, it didn't actually really roll on, it wouldn't give out much oil. However, subsequent wearings now has actually it does give out some. And I've also removed the cap, sorry not the cap, the roller here. And I've dripped some into my oil burner. So currently I'm using this oil in an oil burner. It's filling up the room very nicely with the smell of this. It's actually really close. In terms of similarity to the original, I have a decant of Oud Isfahan, so I can compare that. And I must say that it's quite spot on. I also have Oud Isfahan here by Perfume Parlour. And I thought this one was really good as well, but when I just tested it, it does start off a little screechy with the Al-Sunnah one. It's much smoother at the start. The longevity in this one's great as well, and these oils don't give off much projection, but you can notice it if you put it on your hands and your arms, and as you're doing things throughout the day and your hands cross your face, you'll get wafts of it. And in terms of longevity and performance, I'm not going to give any numbers really, but I generally test them by going to bed with the oil on my hand freshly applied, and if I can smell it next day or the same morning when I wake up, sort of 6 or 7 hours later, I know it can last somewhat, because if I'm in bed, my hand will come in contact with the quilt and my bed sheets, so if it's going to survive the night, then it's going to got decent staying power. So there's Creed Silver Mountain Water. I also have Perfume Parlour's copy of this, and this is pretty good as well. I haven't actually smelled the original Creed, but the oil is nothing to be not to dislike. It's a very pleasant smell, it's not nasty in any way. It seems of decent quality. Obviously, I forgot to mention, these cost £3 for 10ml with shipping in the UK, so there's a very good price for that. In comparison, Perfume Parlour's cost £5 for 10ml. And you have to spend like £20 to get free shipping, so the value is much better, and the quality seems on par with Perfume Parlour as well. I was going to make a point of, obviously these are lower cost oils, so don't expect the world, but the smells are pretty damn good. So there's Tom Ford's Noir. I haven't smelled the original of this, but I did have a clone, and it's quite patchouli heavy, and it has notes of styrax and opanax, I believe. That's literally off the top of my head, so don't quote me on that one. And yeah, this is quite good, very patchouli heavy, I think this one is. Just quickly test. Smells patchouli-ish, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's nice, none of these are bad anyway. And I can't comment on how close it is because I haven't smelled the original, but it smells good. So this is Tom Ford Oud Wood. I have another oil by another company, but I'm not sure which company it is. And to be honest, I don't really think it's my type of scent. It just doesn't really work on my skin that well. It smells okay. I mean, it's just not my taste, basically. And I had the same experience with the other one. There's not much to smell from the cap. But I just don't think that was right up my street. I'd be interested to actually try the Oud Wood though. So this is Gucci Oud, or I believe it might be Gucci Oud Intense, or Gucci Oud Intense, which I have a sample of. And last night I was testing these side by side. So I put the sample in one hand, put the oil in the other, and after about an hour they went close. Off the start, the actual Gucci Oud was much richer. It just seemed to have a better depth to it, whereas this one just seemed a bit sort of flat in comparison. But then as the Gucci one dried down, they kind of were similar-ish, like I wouldn't say they're about 70% close maybe. But yeah, it's pretty good. And you know, the good thing with these oils is I use them when I'm going out. I'm actually going to wear a scent, and then if I have an equivalent scent, or you know, a clone of that scent in oil, I'll also apply it to my arms. And I find then that this will give you like enhanced projection if you just kind of, you know, got a shirt on. So the oils can be good for that regard. And they also work well in oil burners, so you can fill up your room with the scent of these kind of designer or niche fragrances for pretty good value too. So as well as doing copies, I believe they also do their own scents. I have like one here called Night Dreams, which I thought was going to be a clone of the Dreamer by Versace, but I looked it up on the website and it's not. It's their own kind of composition. I think it said it was designed to kind of help you go to sleep. But yeah, this one here, Moroccan Musk, I actually put some on my hand today to go to work, and I must have applied it 8:30 in the morning. Come like 9 o'clock earlier this evening, I could still smell it quite strongly. And at first I thought, oh, it's not very nice, but sort of an hour into my day at work, you know, I was getting wafts on my hand, and it was a very kind of appealing smell. You know, I went to the bathroom many times, washed my hands, and it just didn't go away. And all throughout the day I was getting wafts of this, and it was really nice. They also sent me another musk one, which is Palestine musk. However, I think this is a bit more feminine. It just didn't really kind of gel too well with my kind of scent. So here's Tuscan Leather. This one, again, I've been retrying these recently, so I've had these for a month now, and I have worn them a few times. Like, you know, I've tested them all a couple of times each, but I was also testing them kind of last night in preparation for this video. So this Tuscan Leather one, initially it doesn't smell that good. It was somewhat overbearing. I have Perfume Parlour's copy of Tuscan Leather. I have a copy of Tuscan Leather by Nabil called Macho Man, and I have Nabil's Arab Tradition, which is an EDP copy of Tuscan Leather. And I'll be honest, they all smell better than this one. However, after sort of half an hour, the kind of overbearingness, the sweetness, the raspberry kind of died down, and it became a much more enjoyable fragrance. When I went to bed, this was noticeable on my hand the next day. So the longevity is good with this one, and you know, I may have overapplied, but I overapply with most of the oils and don't really get that bad of experience from the start. Not bad of experience, it was just kind of too sweet with the raspberry, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of sweet fragrances. Right, so here's Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. They asked me if I wanted any particular scents from their list, and I chose ones which I had samples of. I've never actually smelled this one. However, I do have Precious Pearls Tobacco Vanille too. And to be honest, I'm not too kind of fussed on this one. I found the tobacco note was too powerful, and I generally don't like vanilla in scents. So they sent me this one without me asking them, which was cool. I was happy to try it. And I gotta say, I was really impressed with this one. The vanilla and the tobacco just combine much better than in the Precious Pearls one, and it's just a much more enjoyable scent. I think the tobacco made it very masculine in my opinion, and the vanilla didn't really kind of annoy me like vanilla generally does. So overall I was very impressed with this one, and the strength was good. Well, not strength really, but longevity. So yeah, this was a great one. I was actually surprised, and this made me actually want to try the Tom Ford one now. Because, you know, like I said, I'm not a fan of vanilla, so I probably wouldn't have gone out my way to purchase a sample of Tobacco Vanille, but this may have changed my mind. So D&G's Light Blue, I had, I'm selling. I have a bottle of this, which I'm kind of now selling. And kind of I saw it on the list, and I was interested to see how it would compare to the original one, since I'm quite familiar with it. So just before this video now, again, I've tested on my arm, and you do get that kind of saltiness, the aquatic, the incense as well. I would have thought that an oil wouldn't have captured kind of an aquatic fragrance that well. I find that, you know, in my opinion, like the Oud Ispahan is probably the most closest out of them all. And this is the type of scent it is, you know, it's kind of oud and roses. That's you know, that's what art ars are all about. So I thought kind of an aquatic wouldn't have been like its kind of style, but it does capture it pretty well. I'd say it's maybe like 70% close. There's kind of differences which are harder to describe. You know, it doesn't feel as fresh as the other one. I think because of the nature of it being an oil, it kind of does become a bit thicker and it's a denser smell as opposed to the original. But in terms of kind of similarity, you know, it is fairly close. And again, for £3 for 10ml, I've got oils from Perfume Parlour at 10ml which I've worn so many times, and you know, I'm not even halfway through it. So that was a year and a half I bought that, so you know, 10ml will last a long time. So finally now is Creed's Aventus. I've tested this one just now as well, and it's sort of strange. You get a pineapple on the start, so a bit of fruitiness. However, after you apply it on your skin, after a couple of seconds, that goes away and you get that kind of deep, musky, patchouli, woody Aventus base, which I love that bit. I love it. So yeah, it's quite similar to Aventus. It kind of captures it decently. I have Perfume Parlour's one, and that's also pretty close. I haven't really compared them side by side. To be honest, you know, I've had these for a month and I've had 15 fragrances here, so it's hard, and I've also been buying a lot of samples, so it's hard to actually test these properly, especially because they're so long lasting. You know, you kind of need to commit yourself to a day often with these, and if I'm going to put some on my arms, then it means I can't really test other fragrances too, so I don't know, I've been kind of testing all the time. So yeah, overall I think this is a pretty damn good brand, you know. I may be biased saying that because I've kind of been sent these, but you know, if I'd bought these like I have with many other oil companies, I wouldn't be disappointed at all. I think like I'm glad they sent me a variety of ones because I had a chance to see all the different ones they produce and to get an idea of what they're capable of. Like typically roses and oud is kind of the best one in my opinion, and the kind of homemade or their own made musk one is great too. And yeah, I'm quite impressed. I'd recommend, well sorry, I wouldn't recommend buying anything, and that's nothing against the brand, it's just my personal thing. I don't really want people buying things based on my videos. I have had people commenting and saying, oh, you know, because of you I've bought this and that, but you know, I just kind of I hope you guys aren't buying things based on what I'm saying. I was doing it myself, you know, a year ago, but now I kind of know my own fragrance taste, so when somebody is describing things I know if it would kind of appeal to me. So I don't generally say I recommend things because everything's so subjective with the fragrances that, you know, your experiences could be vastly different to mine. But I'll have to say that I'm rather impressed, and yeah, for the price they are very good quality and you can't go wrong really. Right, so thanks for watching the video guys, and until the next one, take care and see you later.